अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कैसे हैं आप लोग? वेलकम टू अनदर लेक्चर। माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, कल हमने पढ़ा था ओल्ड इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के फर्स्ट दो इम्पोर्टेंट राइटर्स and their major work, Cadman and Bede. In the last video, we have read these two writers, Cadman and Bede, and now today we are going to read Cynewulf. Okay, Cynewulf is the third writer, is known as the third writer of Old English literature. Okay, he is the writer of 19th century. His date of birth and date of death is unknown. Okay, as this is Old English period and there is no writings about their birth and death. Okay, Cynewulf, the third other important writer of Anglo Saxon period or Old English period. Cynewulf is regarded as the greatest Anglo Saxon poet. Basically, Cynewulf is a poet. He is a poetry writer. He is regarded as the greatest Anglo-Saxon poet, known for his religious composition. His poetry is basically on the base of religious poetry. Okay, basically the period of Old English literature is mostly regarded to the religious compositions. These writings about church, clergyman, so the literature is basically upon religious composition. Cynewulf major works, Juliana, poem, poetry work, Juliana, Eleni, Kerist, and the Feats of Apostles. Four major works of Cynewulf: Juliana, Eleni, Kerist, the Feats of Apostles. He is the third important writer of the Old English period. And now we are going to read the fourth important writer of Old English period. The fourth important writer of the Old English period is Alfred the Great. From 849 to 901, he is the writer of 19th century. Okay, fourth is Alfred the Great, most famous as Old English king. Alfred the Great is most famous as Old English king. He is known as the Old English king, the king of Old English. He was well known as a translator. Basically, Alfred the Great is a translator. He translates Latin work into English. Alfred the Great is known as the king of Old English, and basically he is translator. He translated some important Latin work into English. His translation is some important Latin work into English. Important works of Alfred the Great are translation. Okay, the Anglo Saxon Chronicle. His important work is basically upon a translation from Latin to English, the Anglo Saxon Chronicle. This is the monument as Old English prose. This book is written in the form of prose. This is the monument as Old English prose. Okay, and the fifth important writer of Old English or Anglo-Saxon period is Alfric. 955 to 1010 AD. Okay, Alfric. He was a clergyman. Alfric is basically a clergyman related to religious clergyman, padri. Alfric is basically a clergyman, wrote a large number of religious work in Greek and Latin. As he is a clergyman, his work is also upon the base of religious work. Wrote a large number of religious work in which language? Greek and Latin. Okay, Greek and Latin in was that period the language of these people. Before English, Greek, Latin, Jew, Dutch, these are the languages of these people. Wrote a large number of religious work in Greek and Latin. As he is a clergyman, his work is based upon religious. They mostly wrote about Bible. Major work. The major works of Alfred was is Catholic homilies. Catholic homilies 1990, 1992, 992 in the reference of Bible. His work is basically with the reference of Bible. As he is a clergyman, his work is also related to the Bible. And the second his work is Latin grammar. Latin grammar, known as the Latin grammar. His second work is Latin grammar, and the third is lives of the saints. As he is himself as a clergyman, so his work is also upon the base of religious and the lives of the saints. Religious book. This is religious book. Saints means padris, someone who work in church. So his book name is Lives of the Saints, and the base of this book is religious book. And now we write about the sixth writer of the Old English literature or Anglo Saxon literature. This is Wulfstan. We don't know about his date of birth, but his date of death is 1023. His date of birth is unknown. A sixth letter is Wulfstan. He is an English bishop. Bishop means churchman of London. English bishop of London. Works. His major works are Sermon of Wolf to the English, Canons of Edgray, and the Law of Edward and Guthrum. Okay, these are the most important writers of the Old English period. First one is Caedmon, and the second is Bede. The third one is Cynewulf, and the fourth is Alfred the Great, and the fifth is Alfred, and the sixth is Wulfstan. Okay, this is called that there are 12 writers in Old English period, but we don't know about their works. Some works are found, but the writer of these works are not found. So the most important writers of their age are these six writers, but first four writers, Caedmon, Bede, and Alfred the Great, and Caedmon are these four writers are very important. First is Caedmon, Bede, Cynewulf, and Alfred the Great are the first most important writer of the Anglo-Saxon period or as Old English period. I hope so. You taught much about the Old English period. Inshallah, in the next video, I will make the quiz of this lecture, major writers of Old English period. In the quiz, Caedmon, Bede, Cynewulf, and the other 3 writers of Anglo-Saxon period. Our quiz is based on these 6 writers of Anglo-Saxon period. So please subscribe my channel and like this video. Okay, take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.